Greetings and welcome to everyone for once again joining the Acdentify YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing fractions. So today we will be discussing fractions. So when we think about fractions, one thing that's important for us to understand is that there are three general kinds of fractions, and I'll write them for us. So there is a proper fraction, then secondly there's an improper fraction, and then thirdly there is something called a mixed number. So when you think about a proper fraction, a fraction basically consists of a numerator and a denominator. So the numerator is always the number that's on the top, and the denominator is the number that's at the bottom. So for a proper fraction, if you think about a number like 2/3, this is considered a proper fraction. Why? Because let me try and use another color here. Because the numerator is smaller than the denominator. So when your numerator is smaller than your denominator, meaning that the number at the top is smaller than the number at the bottom, then it is known as a proper fraction. An improper fraction would be the reverse of that. So for an improper fraction, it would look something like this, for example. 3 divided by 2. Then what do we see? We see that the number at the top is greater than the number at the bottom. So for an improper fraction, the numerator is bigger than the denominator. Then because most people don't really like improper fractions, so what will they end up doing? They will end up trying to convert this improper fraction into a mixture of a whole number and a proper fraction. So that is what a mixed number is. A mixed number consists of, let me just put arrows so that this is clear. So a mixed number consists of a whole number with a proper fraction. So of course, where this right here would be a proper fraction. So to give you an example of a mixed number, you can think of the same number 3 over 2, but written as a combination of 2 over 2 plus 1 over 2. Then we know what 2 divided by 2 is, right? That's 1 and then a half. So this portion of the mixed number is a proper fraction. And then this portion of the mixed number is a whole number. So that's ultimately what a mixed number looks like. So now that we have defined our three kinds of fractions, we will now understand how to convert improper fractions to mixed numbers and then mixed numbers to proper fractions. Yes. Okay. So let me give an example. So in this example, what are we doing? We are converting an improper fraction to a mixed number. This is what we are doing. Okay, to a mixed number. So let's think about an improper fraction and let's consider the number let's consider the number 10 over 3. So this is an improper fraction. Why? Because we see that the numerator, and of course this is the denominator. So because the numerator, which is the number at the top, is much greater or is bigger than the denominator, which is the number at the bottom, because of that we know it is called an improper fraction. Then now we want to convert this improper fraction to a mixed number. Then once again, what did we see is a mixed number? A mixed number is a number which consists of a whole number, and next to that whole number, you have a proper fraction. So once again, this right here would be a proper fraction. So when you think about making a improper fraction become a mixed number, what you firstly have to ask yourself is, okay, I need to have a whole number left and I also need to have some remainder. So how many times does 3, which is the number in the denominator, how many times does it get into the numerator? So if you think about 3, right, we know 3 times 1 is 3, right? We know 3 times 1 is 3. We know 3 times 2 is 6. We know 3 times 3 is 9. We know 3 times 4 is 12. So already I can see the biggest number of times 3 can get into 10 is about 9 times, which we see there, right? So because of that, we know that I must have what? I must have the fact that this 3 gets into 10 3 times. This will become my whole number. Then what will I be left with? I need to say 10 minus 3 times 3 over my original denominator, which ultimately gives me 3, and 10 minus 9 over 3, which gives me 3 and 1 over 3. So once again, when thinking about how do I convert an improper fraction to a mixed number, I have to ask myself, how many times does the denominator get into the numerator? So I go on the side and I say, okay, 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. Then I know that the biggest number smaller than 10 is 9 based on this calculation. Then because of that, I know, okay, this 3 this 3 must appear here, because I know 3 gets into 10 3 times, right? And that's where this 3 appears. However, because I originally had 10 at the top, I must subtract this 3 times the 3, which gives a 9. Then 10 minus 9 is what? 1. Then I'm left with 3 and 1 over 3. I'll give another example. So say I have the improper fraction say I have the improper fraction 7 over 2. So we can call this example 1. We can call this example 2. So once again, I have to ask myself how many times. So first of all, we have to see this as the numerator, and we see this as the denominator. Then I have to ask myself, how many times can 2 get into 7? So I write on the side, 2 times 1 gives me 2. 2 times 2 gives me 4. 2 times 3 gives me 6. 2 times 4 gives me 8. Therefore, the biggest number of times that 2 can get into 7 is how many times? 3 times. Right? So because of that, because 2 gets into 7, a maximum of 3 times, leaving a remainder, what will I put as my whole number? Because remember, a improper fraction converted to a mixed number should be a whole number and have a numerator and a denominator. However, this portion of the mixed number must be a proper fraction. So once again, 2 gets into 7 a maximum of 3 times, as we see here. So what will my whole number be? 3. Then in my numerator, I originally had 7, but I must subtract. I must subtract this right here, which is subtract the 2 times 3 that I have there. And then I must keep the 2 that was originally there. Then what does that give me? It gives me 3, 7 minus 6 over 2, which is ultimately 3 and a half. And of course, that was correct there. So now we're going to look at the reverse. Now, if I want to convert a mixed number to a improper fraction, how does that look like? So give me the mixed number, for example, as we had previously, 3.5. Then when I want to convert this to a improper fraction, remember, for an improper fraction, I must have a numerator and a denominator. However, my numerator must be greater than my denominator. So the numerator for an improper fraction must be greater than the denominator. So the step in order to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction, once again, this is for improper fraction, the steps are as follows. I simply take my whole number and I multiply my whole number by my denominator in this mixed number, and then I simply add the numerator. So it will look like this. 3.5 is equal to 3 multiplied by 2 plus 1. And then you keep the 2. And what will that give you? 7 over 2. So if you think about it, it looks almost like a tick. Because this is your whole number, then you multiply your whole number by your denominator. Which is 2. And then you add your numerator, which is 1. Then, according to this is what you are multiplying. 3 times 2. That goes there, right? Then you are adding 1. Then what does that give you? 7 over 2. So when you think about it, the key is saying that whenever you have a mixed number that you want to convert to an improper fraction, you take your whole, sorry, let me erase this. So you take your whole number and you multiply that whole number by the denominator of your fraction, which would be the proper fraction, of course. And then you add your numerator of your fraction. That is the rule. So I'll give another example. Remember, we previously covered 10 over 3. So when we think about 3 and a third, once again, what is our whole number? Our whole number is 3. So 3 is our whole number. So in this mixed number, 3 is our whole number. 1 is our numerator. 3 is our denominator. So when I want to convert this into a improper fraction, what am I doing? I'm taking my whole number and I am multiplying it by my denominator. So once again, I can put my tick. And I'm taking my whole number and I'm multiplying this whole number by my denominator. And as I can see, my denominator is 3. And then I'm adding it to what? I'm adding it to my numerator. And what is my numerator? It is 1. So what does that look like? It looks like 3 multiplied by 3 plus my numerator 1 over the same denominator that you have, which is 3. Then what is that in total? It is 10 over 3. Then through this, I hope we were able to see the very simple way of converting a improper fraction to a mixed number, as well as how to convert a mixed number to an improper fraction. So thank you so much. I hope this video really helped, and then I will see you in the next video.